Representative Hayes.
Good afternoon. I'm Congresswoman Jahana Hayes from the state of Connecticut, and I am honored to be the lead along with Ranking Member Angie Craig on the House side for this legislation. But this is a very familiar place for me. I have pushed back against SNAP in the Farm Bill negotiations, in the debt ceiling negotiations, in every budget that we've passed since I've been in the Congress. We saw very recently how fragile food security is in this country when just the delay of SNAP benefits put so many families at risk. But we are not beyond this crisis, because once the provisions from H.R. 1, the One Big Beautiful Bill, kick in, more families will be at risk. We keep hearing about the 42 million American children the 42 million Americans who are affected by SNAP. But what I'd like for you to consider is that 39% of that number is children. When I came to the Congress, I asked for two committees on purpose: the Committee of Education and Labor and the Committee of Agriculture. As a classroom teacher, I understood that hungry kids don't learn, and nothing that we do in a school matters if kids are hungry when they get there. And that has guided my work. But not just as a member of Congress. I happen to be a member who is deeply aware of how those dots connect. I grew up in a family that relied on SNAP. As a young mother, I made the decisions that many of these parents are making today about whether they pay a bill or buy groceries. I know what all this means. Right now, we are looking at devastating cuts. But I think that there really isn't a true appreciation for the reciprocal impacts of these cuts. If families and children lose access to SNAP, they automatically lose their categorical eligibility for free and reduced lunch. Parents who would otherwise not have to apply for WIC would have to apply. So we would see children hurt across the spectrum. In the United States of America, in 2025, we have the ability to feed children. These are policy choices. And the fact that at the exact same time, $187 billion was cut from SNAP programs, tax cuts for the wealthiest, most well-connected individuals and corporations. There's something wrong with that. Kids don't have lobbyists. They don't have advocacy groups. They don't have people here fighting to make sure that they don't go to bed hungry. But they have us. And as legislators, as members of Congress, we all should be invested in making sure that no one in this country goes to bed hungry, because we have the ability to do that. Not just children, disabled individuals, veterans, elderly people, all who at one time may have been exempt from these work provisions, no more. So we're going to see devastating cuts in our community. We're going to see our friends, our neighbors, and maybe even some of our family members who are going to have to deal with this. I am encouraged by what we've seen over the last few weeks, where communities have come together, where food drives have been established, where schools are giving children brown bag lunches to take home over the weekend, all of these things. But we should not have this patchwork system to come together to make sure our children are fed. When, for as long as this program, SNAP, has been established, there has been a bipartisan consensus that we would feed our people. That has been broken. That is something that we've seen time and time again that is under attack. And just because the benefits went out in November, I am happy that you are all here to make sure that the American people know that this fight is not over. And as for me and my time in Congress, I will continue the work to make sure that our children in this country are fed, and everybody for that matter. And with that, I'd like to